Local 4 News begins right now with a breaking news alert.
And that's breaking news coming to us from Northwest Detroit, where a 13-year-old boy suffered a gunshot wound to the head.
The shooting happened in the area of Southfield and 8 Mile Road. We're told the boy was upset, found the gun inside a home, and shot himself.
On arrival, we did, unfortunately, in fact, find a child identified as 13 years old, had a gunshot wound to the head. He was conveyed to a local hospital. He's in very critical condition.
Well, the boy's 19-year-old brother admitted the gun belongs to him, and he is now in custody. Police say that gun never should have been in the house because it was purchased illegally.
All right, now to the latest on the Las Vegas mass shooting. Tonight, the death toll remains at 59, but a hospital reported another victim has died of their wounds. The number, though, doesn't really change because the shooter himself was initially counted as a victim, but no longer is. So again, 59.
And we've also learned the shooter, Stephen Paddock, attached bump stock devices to 12 weapons, making them fully automatic. Investigators are looking into large gambling transactions Paddock made over the past several weeks and money transfers to the Philippines days before the attack.
Late tonight, police released body cam video showing the chaos their officers faced as the bullets were raining down.
Get down! Go that way! Get out of here! There's gunshots coming from over there! Go that way! Go that way! There's gunshots right here! Hit my head. Hey, go that way, go that way, go that way.
Those moments when law officers have to run toward the gunfire instead of away from it. Tonight, Las Vegas police also talked about one of the victims, one of their own. Off-duty officer Charleston Hartfield is among those killed.
And as it turns out, that officer's family is from Metro Detroit. Jermont Terry caught up with his brother, who is grieving but upset at the same time. Jermont?
Kimberly, like so many people, Teron Hartfield woke up Monday morning and learned about the shooting in Vegas. But I can tell you that he, like so many people, he feared that his phone would not ring. And when it did, his worst fear became a reality, and now the nation mourns with him.
Wow, it's tough.
With a heavy heart,
That is my absolute hero.
Teron Hartfield mourns his brother.
I am just in pain all over.
Charleston Hartfield attended the concert in Vegas with his wife, Veronica. When the gunman opened fire, the couple quickly rushed to safety.
He took his wife and got her to safety. And being, you know, the warrior that he truly was, he went back out to help other people.
But when the Las Vegas officer and former Army veteran went back into the line of fire, the bullet spraying down onto the crowd pierced him.
His wife tried to drag him back to safety. She couldn't. He pushed her away because he knew he was going. He told her, "I'm dying." Pushed her to safety.
Teron wishes he had more time with his brother.
I felt it was my job to bring the family together, and I'm going to keep us together.
In fact, Charleston and Teron don't have images together because at the start of this year, they discovered they were brothers. They were just making up for the lost decades. The two families were meeting up soon.
Unfortunately, we will definitely all meet for a funeral.
And while so many have opinions about this massacre,
there is nothing wrong with being upset.
Teron expresses his thoughts on the gunman.
I can't forgive this. This is staged. This was planned.
He hopes his brother's death brings about true change in gun control.
So many guns, so many rounds fired.
And so many questions still left tonight. Now, Charleston's wife, as we mentioned, survived that shooting. He leaves behind 2 teenage children. Now, I should point out that Teron tells me that even though he and his brother just started to know each other and started talking 8 months ago, they developed a very strong bond, and often they will talk about current events. Unfortunately, his brother is not around to talk about this tragic story. Reporting live tonight, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
Just heartbreaking. One turn of events.
It really is, but it really speaks to the type of person he was, going back to help, those who needed it. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
All right, Jermont. Other news tonight, a Macomb County couple is accused of keeping a mentally and physically disabled woman in a shed and selling her online for sex. That's only the beginning. Mara McDonald working this story tonight. And Mara, one of these accused tried to escape from court this afternoon.
Shocking, overwhelming. It's crazy.
It's all of that and then some. Investigators say these two, 30-year-old Misty George and her boyfriend Mike Welch, kept a mentally and physically disabled woman in a shed next to their trailer and used her to generate money online by selling her for sex. Their neighbors are flabbergasted.
I'm still in shock because they didn't seem like they were that kind of people.
Neighbors say Misty is a special needs adult herself and that Welch was essentially living off of her disability checks. They had no steady employment.
I would always just see them, going to Kroger's or just walking around the neighborhood.
But nobody saw the 29-year-old woman the two were accused of keeping locked in that shed. Investigators say originally that handicapped woman was staying in the trailer. When she couldn't pay the couple rent, they kept her outside like an animal with no access to a bathroom or the trailer, and then listed her online.
How do you do that? How? And there's no signs. You wouldn't, nothing. They were like normal people, but mooches.
Back here live, neighbors say that the couple also has a small daughter about 3 years old, and they wonder what she has seen, and they wonder who is actually going to take care of her. Devin, Kimberly, back to you.
Okay, Mara, thanks. Late this evening, the House passed a bill banning late-term abortions. It would criminalize abortions after 20 weeks, except in cases where the life of the mother is at risk or the case of rape. However, Democrats are expected to kill the bill with a filibuster when it moves to the Senate.
A scuffle with a student at Oxford High School ends with a deputy's gun going off. The Oakland County deputy was arresting an 18-year-old student accused of assaulting his girlfriend and punching a teacher. The student resisted and tried to grab the officer's gun. And during the struggle, the gun discharged, firing a single shot that fortunately just bounced off a floor and went into a wall, and no one was hurt. But that young man is now, as you expect, facing a list of charges.
He went in for cash but ended up with a stapler to the face. A would-be robber stopped by a tough-talking store clerk in Plymouth.
Come on. Get the f*** out of here, get your mother out of here, girl, call the cops.
Well, that was a stapler she threw at him, getting him to run out of the store. This happened Saturday night at the Mobil gas station at 5 Mile and Northville Road. Anybody with information on the robber is asked to call police. Meanwhile, the video is only a few seconds long, but Detroit police are hoping it's enough to catch a stabbing suspect. Take a look there. The man in the black sweatshirt is wanted for stabbing another man outside the old Shillelagh pub downtown back on September 23rd. The victim will survive.
A Local 4 Defender update. Back in June, our Kevin Dietz exposed the phenomenon of what are known as gypsy cops, police officers who move from job to job after being accused of misconduct. Well, now lawmakers in Lansing have passed a bill which would stop that misconduct from being kept a secret when officers are applying for a new job. It's now on the governor's desk. He is expected to sign it into law. The woman who saved a teenager's life inside a Sterling Heights restaurant was honored during a city council meeting tonight.
Thank you for being there for me and everything. I'm just happy you were there at the right place at the right time to save my life. Thank you, Susan.
That is Susan Pendergraft. She jumped into action when 15-year-old Michael Brown suffered cardiac arrest. She performed CPR until paramedics got there. Later this week, she'll be presented with the Exceptional Civilian Service Award.
Nice moment tonight.
Congratulations.
There are some surprises in a new ranking of exercises by the amount of calories they burn.
See what doctors say is the most efficient and which popular exercise doesn't rank among the best. Plus. Okay, find out why this poor kid can't stop whistling every time he tries to talk. Ben?
Kim, believe it or not, it has been 2 weeks since we've recorded rain at Metro Airport, and we could be solving that problem tomorrow. We'll look at our rain chances for Wednesday next.
All right, Ben, and next, how the simple act of walking a dog is becoming a powerful crime-fighting tool in one local community. We'll be right back.
Are you
keeping your neighborhood safe? Ask just about anyone. They'll say it's awfully important to them, critical.
That is true. And now one local community is encouraging pet owners to become crime fighters. Defender Karen Drew explains how it works.
At first, it looks like Bailey and me taking a walk, but if one local police department gets their way, we would kind of be crime fighters, using our eyes and ears, looking for things that are suspicious to make sure our neighborhood is safe.
The common thing that I would get is people would say, I'm not sure if this is even worth calling you about. Let us determine that.
You're inside a Paw Watch meeting. Those attending, Farmington Hills pet owners.
Crime typically has to have a motive and an opportunity. So motive we know exists, we can't change that, but opportunity we can change. It's a rash. These people they're professionals.
Here, pet owners learn from members of the Farmington Hills Police Department what to look out for when they're walking their pets.
A car that's driving slowly through the neighborhood seems to be looking at houses or someone that's looking in windows. How they can properly report it to the police.
Other things to be aware of. Vehicles parked in an unusual spot. People walking with no defined direction and unoccupied idling vehicles.
They come in teams, generally 2 or 3 vehicles. The first one comes in, cases the area. Second one comes in, loosens the lug nuts. Third one comes in and picks up the tires.
Lindsay Santilli signed up for the program.
Things I think I look out for just tend to be like cars out of place, anyone that looks suspicious, people that are like soliciting but they don't have a permit. That's kind of a red flag.
She says she's already out with her dog every day at all different times of the day. So what better way to look for possible criminal action?
I think I'm more conscious of not having my phone in my face, knowing what's going on around me. And
right now we have 3,071 dogs registered in our community, and we want to foster a community that can take the resources that they have and utilize them in preventing crime and helping their neighbors, and thus just making a safer, more wonderful community for all of us.
If your city doesn't have a Paw Watch program, there really isn't a problem. You always can be keeping an eye out, looking for things suspicious in your neighborhood. Police always say they'd much rather get the phone call than let that crime be committed. I'm Karen Drew, Local 4 News.
How neat.
And Bailey looks ready to go.
And Bailey, the crime-fighting dog.
Indeed,
For Karen, that's great.
Here's a look at what Defender Kevin Dietz is working on for tomorrow night.
With police under scrutiny for use of deadly force, a drastic new policy change is being recommended: the return of the warning shot. The suggestion that police train to use warning shots to stop fleeing or unresponsive citizens.
Firing a warning shot in there is probably the worst idea ever.
Is it a solution that will save lives, or is it a recipe for disaster?
Bullets have been fired into the air, come down a great distance later and struck and injured people.
The defenders examine this controversial proposal tomorrow night at 11.
It is a lovely evening. There is rain on the way, but why don't we just focus on it's a lovely evening.
It has been, I mean, a great day at that, but we do need the rain.
We do. We actually fell only 4 degrees short of the record today.
Is it right?
Believe it or not. Yeah, 85
really nice.
degrees. Look at that. Most of the area got into the mid-80s. The east side was some of the cooler numbers, but not by much. Still into the 80s there in Mount Clemens. City Airport at 82. Grosse Ile, the cool spot, at 78. Even now, as we have fallen, temperatures at 11 o'clock on October 3rd are still above our average highs for the day, believe it or not. 74 right now at Metro, 76 in Pontiac, and it's still with dry air. We don't have a humidity issue. That is about to change, however. Beautiful shot of the moon tonight, at least around the clouds. We will be seeing more clouds the later we get ahead of the cold front that's going to start working in towards tomorrow morning. And you can see the rain, which is showing up here on the radar. It's out here across parts of the UP, through parts of Wisconsin and down through eastern Iowa. That's going to start advancing towards Michigan as we get into tomorrow. But ahead of that, there is a pool of moisture. You see these dew points in the mid-60s. So even though we're going to see cooler temperatures, it's not going to be quite as hot tomorrow, we're still going to be in the mid-70s in the afternoon. So you start adding these 65-degree dew points in there, and it's going to be some noticeable humidity, especially for early parts of October. But it's a one-and-done deal. You can see on the other side of that front, the air dries out again. And that's what we're going to see for most of the upcoming weekend. So here's how the forecast shapes up tonight. We will see the clouds increase, but stay dry probably through the start of the morning commute. Maybe a couple drops here and there, but it looks like more scattered showers start pushing in just before lunchtime on Wednesday. And then we'll see those off and on in spots, but not everywhere until we get into about the heart of the afternoon. This is 3 o'clock. And as that cold front gets closer and as temperatures warm to the mid-70s, there's going to be enough instability to generate some thunder out here, believe it or not. No severe weather expected, but just don't be surprised if you hear a rumble. And then that front takes care of the rain, so by the majority of the evening commute, 5 o'clock or so, we should be dry and staying that way at least through Thursday before our next chance of rain rolls in on Friday. So let's look at the amount of rain that we're expecting. It's not going to be much, but any amount is good considering how much of a deficit we're running. About 1/4 of an inch here on the east side. That may be the highest totals that we pick up. Also down here towards Lake Erie, we'll see about 2/10. Generally, though, it's about 1500s. That's what most of us are going to see. West zone numbers anywhere between 13 and 1500s. And again, this is rainfall, and it's going to be a lot more spotty than what we're showing. But this is a good general rule of what we're expecting. About 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch here in our north zone by tomorrow afternoon. So temperature-wise, lows tonight, again, close to what we would typically see for a high this time of year. 75 tomorrow afternoon, not quite as good as today, but still above average. We continue cooling into Friday and then start rebounding for the weekend. So all of these temperatures, all 7 days are above average, even that 68 on Friday.
Yeah.
But that's going to be our best chance of rain. Friday and unfortunately into Saturday. So if you've got tickets to the big house, just
right into the
Bring
big
your
game.
umbrella.
Could be a little soggy.
Focus on tailgate.
There you go.
Very good. Thank you. If you've ever had a Yahoo email account, you will want to hear this, why your information is definitely at risk.
Also busted at the border, the very illegal cargo 2 truckers were caught with on the Ambassador Bridge. Next.
A family hitting.
2 truck drivers arrested at the Ambassador Bridge for trying to smuggle immigrants into Canada. They declared produce at the border, but during a search of the truck, 11 people were found hiding behind a curtain.
A judge in Roseville under investigation for a hit-and-run accident. A complaint was filed against Judge Catherine Steelan for the crash which happened last week, but Steelan does have a prior arrest for drunk driving.
A Detroit woman woke up this morning to a naked stranger standing in her bedroom and touching her leg. It happened in Midtown. The woman said she woke up and screamed, and the man ran off. Police believe he got in through a window.
If you have ever had a Yahoo email account, ever, then you were part of the 2013 data breach. Today, Yahoo announced every account was affected. It was back in December of last year. Yahoo said 1 billion accounts were affected. Now the company says all 3 billion accounts were breached. Stolen information then includes names, email addresses, phone numbers, and birth dates.
Took them long enough to tell us.
I know, just getting around to it.
My
Thank you.
goodness.
Thanks a lot. It seems every week there is a new kind of exercise fad promising to burn calories.
So to clear up any confusion, doctors at the Mayo Clinic released a list of the top calorie burning workouts. Coming in at number 5, swimming. We've heard this one. Hitting the pool for an hour can burn more than 700 calories. Number 4 and 3 are football and taekwondo. And the top 2 exercises, skipping and running. Yeah, an hour can burn just over 1,000 calories. If you're wondering, yoga is at the very bottom of the list with 228 calories. I don't even know if I remember how to skip.
Well, Bernie does it every day down the hall on his way into the studio. So good to know that it's working for you. A young boy from Argentina suffered an unusual side effect after he swallowed part of a pet toy and couldn't stop squeaking.
Poor fella. Look at his face. The whistle was stuck in his throat. A doctor was able to remove the squeaker, and the kid will be okay. So I guess one of those pet little toys, was it?
That they always say not to
put in.
Because it can swallow. But they loved him so much they decided to video it so that they could exploit the poor little guy.
Yeah, put it on the news.
Terrible.